Hello, Oracles, and happy FOMC day. So, today we are expecting some interest rate hikes. Some people are expecting a 25 basis point hike, others are expecting a 50 basis point hike. We will see how today plays out. I do feel that we are going to see 25 basis points today and probably another 25 basis points in March. That's just my feeling. We will see how it plays out. We are also getting word that the Cybertruck beta production vehicle is under review from Elon. So we will share that information and more in just a minute. So looking at the charts pre-market, we are about flat, not really any movement in the stock because it's FOMC day. We have interest rates going up and we just don't know how much they are going to go up. What is the stock market going to do? Whatever reaction we get today is most likely going to be an entire market reaction versus just a Tesla specific reaction. This thing here is what we have been talking about all year long last year, which is the macro environment is significantly heavier than Tesla. Regardless of how strong and powerful we think Tesla is going to be in the future, it cannot be stronger than the entire economy. Just does not work that way. So if we see a pullback in the stock today, it is macro related. If we see a run today in the entire market, again, that is also macro related. So we'll see which way we go today after we get the interest rate hike. That information will be coming out at 2 p.m. Eastern time, and then at 2:30 Jerome Powell will come out and speak. So again, we've seen in the past, sometimes we get the information and the stock market pulls back, and then Jerome Powell comes out to speak, and then it recovers and rallies. We will see if that's how we play out today. You guys can let me know in the comments what you think. And now, again, looking at the charts here, we mentioned it last night. This $180 level has acted as a little bit of a resistance here. So we are waiting to see if we can potentially push up and break that and then get up to this 191 and then potentially $200 level. If we end up falling down from here, again, we do have this gap down to 146, support at 150, just the different levels that I am looking at. And now over on Twitter, Elon replying to Doge designer's tweet about Cybertruck will be my personal vehicle. Elon says, I was just reviewing the production beta Cybertruck. It is incredible. So we've got the production beta Cybertruck under review from Elon. And now if we're wondering what the timing is between production beta review and actual production, I do not have that time frame. It's going to be different for every single vehicle depending on what's out there, what needs to transpire over the course of time to make it get to production. So again, last information we knew was on the earnings call. We'll most likely see initial production and deliveries happening in the second half of this year, with volume production beginning in 2024. Now, originally, that was volume production by the end of 2023. Sounds like that has been pushed off until 2024 as we get more of the 4680 batteries ramped as well. So, again, I know another delay, but it is coming. Things are just moving slower in the overall economy. Again, that ties directly with what's going on with the FOMC, interest rates, inflation. All of these things play together because the supply chain issues that caused a lot of this delay or what's causing the inflation, it all ties together. So you need to see the entire macro broad picture of everything just to kind of get an idea as to why these things are getting delayed. So when you have like Tesla Q and Fudsters coming out saying, oh, look at this Cybertruck's just, not really going to happen, keeps on getting delayed. Elon keeps lying. There's a lot of things that are getting delayed. I mean, look at GM. They actually shrunk in deliveries from 2021 to 2022, despite the fact that 2021 was when they faced the most supply chain issues. And looking at GM as well, GM actually had $76 billion more revenue coming in than Tesla, but Tesla made more net income. When you look at financials, regardless of whatever you're looking at, whether it's your own personal finances, whether it's a company's financials, and at the end of the day, the money that is used to grow your business even further is going to be net income. It's not revenues. Revenues are going to come in. They're going to pay for the costs of manufacturing, the cost of goods sold. They're going to pay for some of the bills. But when it comes down to it, that net income is what you have made after all of your bills are paid. And then you can utilize that money to further pay down debt, or you can use that money to grow your business even more. Right now, Tesla has more of that net income than GM. Tesla also does not have the debt that GM has. So, with this net income, Tesla can then really innovate, whereas GM cannot. GM right now can't even use as much money to pay down their debt, let alone innovate. This is probably one of the reasons why GM is sticking with their ICE vehicles because they need that net income. They need that bottom line profit coming in. And if they switch over to EVs too soon, they won't have any of that. So, right now, with a majority of ICE vehicles, GM cannot keep up with Tesla selling EVs. If GM was selling only EVs, they wouldn't even be profitable at all. And now, switching gears a little bit and going over to China. So, the incentives that they had for new energy vehicles ended January 31st. That was yesterday. Today begins the day of no incentives going forward as of right now for any new energy vehicles. New energy vehicles include hybrids and battery electric vehicles. So that is going away. And in January, we saw, all EVs, Tesla included, not doing as well as they did of January last year. So this here, I think, is a lot of the fact that we are seeing that recession happening over in China. They're having very difficult economic times. So pricing really is important. Despite the fact that these new energy vehicles and battery electric vehicles are significantly more popular, it really all comes down to price. If somebody needs a vehicle, but they're in tough economic times, they're going to end up getting an ICE vehicle because they don't have the money to get the other ones. And with these incentives going away, that is going to make it even more challenging for these EVs. So we may see some pressure coming in Tesla. Maybe they end up dropping prices down further. Perhaps this is the big push for Project Highland. Again, we've spoken about it many times. I'm actually going to reach out to Connecting the Dots, see if maybe he would want to join us on the channel, and we can dive into some of that further. But if Tesla can really reduce the cost of their production, then they can really drop the price of their vehicles. That means that they can really compete with ICE vehicles. That is the true level that we need to get to, is when can EVs and Tesla truly compete with all ICE vehicles? That there is that sweet spot around that $25,000 level that these vehicles need to be at on an average selling point. So I do think we will get there. It's just a matter of when. So we may see some demand pressures coming in China. And perhaps this is the reason why Tesla said that they're not really going to be pushing up production any further. Now, granted, the ramp rate is significantly higher than it was at this time last year. So just keeping steady where they're at means that China is going to be producing significantly more vehicles than they did last year. They will end up exporting a whole lot of those because there's a lot of new countries that are now selling Teslas. So this will end up getting exported out. This is going to be great. And we will just have to pay attention to what's going on domestically in China and really pay attention to the macro environment that's going on over there. And when it comes down to just the EVs themselves versus ICE, it's a matter of paying attention to the entire market there and how Tesla is handling that. And now, speaking of other countries that they can export to, we've got the Indonesian president coming out saying, hope Tesla will produce electric cars in Indonesia while open to battery investment, confident that Tesla will invest in Indonesia. Indonesia offers incentives for Tesla, including nickel mining licenses, and ministers are finalizing incentives to Tesla. And again, we've talked about it many times. Indonesia, as an entire government, wants Tesla there. There are a lot of countries that are fighting for Tesla right now: South Korea, Indonesia, Mexico. These countries all want Tesla. While consumers are out here wanting to buy the vehicles, countries are out there wanting to buy the factories. That's what they want. They want these factories there. It creates jobs, it creates a lot of income and GDP for their countries. This is very important to them. So, sounds like we may have Tesla going over to Indonesia for battery related stuff. We knew this previously, and we know that they've been fighting for them to go over there to do even more than just the battery stuff. So, we'll find out in the future. Maybe this is going to happen now. Maybe it's going to happen later. Maybe we'll get some sort of battery factory first over in Indonesia. Again, not sure which way we're going to go over there, but these countries are really vying to get Tesla in there. What's great about that is the fact that if these countries want to do that, that means that Tesla can work out deals where whatever they get is going to be significantly lower cost to be into these countries to produce their vehicles. Again, we've talked about it many times. The lower the cost Tesla has, the better pricing they can put on their vehicles, therefore making them more affordable and profitable for everyone. And it's a win win situation for both the consumer and for Tesla. And speaking of other countries who want Tesla there, we've got Omar from Holmar's catalog coming out saying 25 years of lithium production. And we can see the growth of lithium production and consumption from 1995 until today. And if you see at the very top there, Australia is pushing up significantly with lithium production. We know that Australia has been pushing for megapacks over there. So, this is another reason why I am thinking Australia is going to see a megapack factory coming up. We are going to start seeing them come up globally. And I have a feeling Australia is going to be one of these places. So maybe it's Australia, maybe it's Indonesia. Either way, Tesla is going to be expanding globally in many facets between vehicles and energy. And for logistical purposes, they want to put their factories right where the supplies are to speed up that time and get production out as fast as possible. So, again, things are moving in a very good direction. Today is the FOMC meeting, so whatever happens today, if for some reason the stock market pulls back after the meeting today, remember all of these fundamental pieces. Remember that Tesla is growing. Other countries are fighting to have Tesla factories put up. Cybertruck is coming. This is what is happening around the world on a fundamental level for Tesla. So I'm looking to get myself to 4,444 shares. I had some questions asking if that was pre split. And for me, I would like to have 4,444 shares based on today's price. I'm only at 57 shares. That's a long, long way to go. This is why I'm focusing heavily on my income and other investments. I'm going to dive into some of those other investments in the future as well, because they're going to be creating cash flow generation for me to be able to invest even more into Tesla. It's the only way I can do it. I cannot, increase my pay at my job. I need to do something on the outside with either other investments or secondary ventures like this channel and my business. So I need to build those up to get more shares. So while a lot of people are like, I'm all in on Tesla, I think that's awesome. But there's some of us out there who, if I was all in Tesla, I need to get my money from somewhere. And I can't realistically build up my share count in Tesla significantly if I don't have that income coming in. So for me, it's going to make more sense to invest in other areas that are going to generate more income faster. Because yes, I do think Tesla is going to be the best investment I can make in the long term. But in the near term, with the prices being suppressed like they are and potentially coming down again, I want to have as much money coming in now as I can to invest more right now to build up that share count. Because as we start coming out of this and the stock starts running again, it's going to be harder to accumulate more shares. So that is my strategy, not financial advice, but just wanted to explain that to you guys who had the questions in the comments. And speaking of questions in the comments, I apologize. I have not had a chance to jump in there and put up the questions that you guys have. So we will be getting back to Tim's take and sharing a question from you guys. So just give me a little time. I have another inventory I need to go through at work that is happening tomorrow. Once I'm through all of that, should have a little bit more time to dedicate to you guys as well. So I apologize for that. And so hopefully maybe this weekend I can actually get some sleep as well. So you guys are so awesome. I do appreciate all of your support. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and we will see you in the next one.